Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Geek Guru. So today we are going to learn about control flow. So control flow, which means is that how we can control the flow of our program. So in this, like we can check, like for example, if else condition, which is the basic thing which in every programming language exists. So for example, we have to make decision on the basis of any condition and then evaluate it. Usually we also make condition in our life. For example, we make conditions uh, daily. We make decisions daily. For example, if I wake up early, then I will do this. After doing that, then I will do this. So basic structure I have pasted on the terminal. If you see, so it says like if this condition is true, like if it evaluates, then execute below statements. Else it will check. If this is not true, then it will go to else if. And this is Python else if. In Julia it is else if, and else it will do this. So let's see. For example, if I want to write a pseudo code, let's see. For example, if wake up at 6, then for example I can do print or do exercise, read books. Else if, like if I am not able to wake up at 6, like else if wake up at 9, then just do exercise and then go to work. Or else it means that haven't been able to wake up at 6, I wake up at 9. There can be two possibilities. If I wake up before 6, which is not possible, so it means that I will wake up after 11, or then just we can do go to work. This is how a normal control flow would look like. So you can, for example, when we are building any app, like for example habit of app or something, we might find these conditions useful, like when user decides what he wants to do. So yeah, this is just basic pseudocode how we want to write. So let's now go back to Julia, where we have to execute the real code. So for example, we have already seen that like through the evaluation in Julia. So for example, we can compare string and then it can check like which is true or wrong. For example, truths is great smaller than truths, which is also true, or like 10 is greater than 9, smaller than 9, which is false. 10 equals to 10. So this is some of the condition. So if condition always evaluates to boolean, so we have to either make it true or false. So let us take one example. For example, I have a variable x equals to 10 and then y equals to 11. What I can do, if x is less than y, then print that x is less than y. Then else if x is greater than y, then print that x is greater than y. Now else print x and y are equal. Now here, like, I'll give 30 seconds to decide like what this program will print. So here x is 10, y is 11. So if 10, you can think, okay, sure, I think you might have got the right answer. So here, like x is 10 and y is 11, so this will print this one because x is less than y. If x is greater than y, then this will print this statement. So let us run it. So we see we have got x. Now let's interchange the value. So I will write x and y, 11 and 10. So now let's see what happens. So it says that x is greater than y. If you haven't seen multiple assignments, so you should know that in Julia we can do multiple assignments also. So, and for example, let us see if x equals to 0 and x and y equals to 0 comma 0. Let's see what happens. X and y are equal. So this is how if else statement works. So in this you can write multiple else if, like for example you can write tons of else if and else statement, but yeah, it should start and end with and. This is one condition, and whatever statement should evaluate, this should evaluate to true. Whichever condition will evaluate, then only it will execute to true. Now let's go back to our another example. Let's go to our another example. For example, let's see, like we are designing an app which like suggests the user like what to do if weather is, like you might have seen in your smartphone, like it dictates. So for example, I'm just saying weather is raining. Now if weather equals to raining, then we will prompt, like for example, make sure to take umbrella with you. Now else if weather equals to hot, or I would say sunny, print and wear shorts and comfortable clothing. Else if weather equals to mm, for example windy, then we can do dress up warm. What else we can, like, or else if weather equals to cool, take some sweaters with you, or else do as you want to do. And so if you see here, we have assigned weather equals to rainy, then this will take up, we'll get this message. For example, if weather equals to windy, okay, we cannot do equals to because it is come, we have to assign a variable windy. Now let's see, dress up warm, so it will evaluate. So if I assign weather equals to for example weather equals to autumn. Autumn is season, so weather equals to breeze. Now let's see what happens. Do as you want to do. So these are a couple of examples how we can use if else in our programs. There can be multiple like strong ways to use it. I have given just starter examples, but yeah, these are really helpful. Now let's go to ternary operator. So ternary operators are like for example, it is a single line statement to evaluate. Just like for example, if I have to check like if the number is even or not. So let me just, if I have to write number equals to 20. So even number is like divided by 2 is 0. So if number mod of 2 equals to 0, we can use divrem as well. So function. Now print number is even. Let's see, else print number is odd. Now I have to end this, so number is even. So like if you see, I have written 4 lines of code to check like if number is even or not, but we can do it in a simpler way. So which is number mod of 2 equals to 0, then print number is even, or else print number is odd. So let's see what happens. Number is even. So let me change the number 33. So number is odd. So if you see what happens is that this condition, if you see this condition, what we have done is that we have substituted is here. Now if statement is, I would say just assume this thing. This colon is an if statement. So if this is true, then it will execute this thing. And else if it is false, then it will execute the second part. So first part is true and then second part is for the false one. Cool. Now let's see the compound expressions. So we will also look at compound expressions. So what are compound expressions? So we have got like ternary operator. If you want, like, let's go with another example. What we did for greater and smaller. So for example, if I have x and y equals to 2 comma 1, so just x is greater than y smaller than y, then we have to println x is less than y, because it will be true, or else print x is greater than y. So if you see x is 2, x is 2 and y is 1, if you see I can just print here as well x and y. So you can see 2 is 2 is smaller than y, which is false, and hence this condition got evaluated, which is x is greater than y. Now let's come to a compound expression. So in compound expression, what is compound expression? It is, like, for example, way to combine multiple expressions together into a single expression. We can write multiple expressions and combine it in a single expression. And it is useful like when we want to return only one single value. So we can either separate it by comma, or like and enter a new with the begin and end statement. So let's see how it happens. So for example, let me just create a new variable. If you see begin, now I can do like x1 equals to 1, y1 equals to 2, and x1 plus y1. So if you see now, if I print z, it is value is 3. So what has happened is that this condition has evaluated and we were able to substitute the value in the z. So now z is 3. Let's see another example, like for example z2. I see x2 equals to 1 and y2 equals to 2, then x2 plus y2. So here what we are doing, we have written multiple statement in the parenthesis x2 equals to 1, then semicolon, which is a new statement, then y2, and then we have combined it. So what will be the output? I'm giving 10 seconds, like you can think like what can be the output before I press enter. Okay, so z2 will be 3 because it has combined both the value. Also we can do in the similar way. For example, if we want to just enter the code like this, either we can do it with begin and end and like this. So I will write a equals to 10, and then semicolon, b equals to 11, and then a plus b, and so it is 21. So instead of assigning variable, we can also just do some statement. For example, x4, let's take another bit. For example, um, message equals to hello, and then name equals to doodle. So let return, so message into, and I will use space into name. Let's see if it works or not. So hello doodle. So this is how we can evaluate the compound expression. So in this chapter, like what we have gone through is that, let's revise it once more. So we saw like how if condition basic structure is, then we ran for pseudocode, then we saw like how the boolean is evaluated. If works on basically on boolean, so we took couple of example where like we saw how the boolean works. Then we went through ternary operator after a couple of more examples. So how ternary operators work, this is very handy, like if you don't want to write long code for shorter if else evaluation. But like this is also termed as short circuit evaluation in Python. But yeah, ternary operator is the best term to use it. And this is good like when you want to write a small if else statement. But if there is like very big like a lot of, like for example we saw in this weather, if you are seeing this kind of thing, so just stick to the standard if else. Don't use this because it like code, like when your code is reviewed or when you want to read it, it doesn't work like nicely, it doesn't look good on the code. And another one, like we saw one more example, and at the last we went through the compound expression. So this is for today. Thank you guys, we'll be back with some more chapters on loops. Thank you.